think this ukulele might be out of tune. So let's tune it up. But first, what is tuning and why do we need to do it? Okay, so each string is meant to be set to a certain tightness so that it produces a certain pitch. Basically, so when you play it, it plays the right notes. But I don't think those are the right notes. Do you know why? I just put new strings on this ukulele. I didn't really, but I'm pretending I did for the video. And when you put new strings on a ukulele, or if it's a brand new ukulele, the tuning gets all messed up and it sounds bad. So we have to tune up the strings. Okay, so first thing we need to know is which note is each string supposed to be tuned to? So starting from the top, this one's a G, and then we go to C, then E, and A on the bottom. So that was G, C, E, A. How are we going to remember that? Do you know that, have you ever heard the phrase, every good boy does fine? That's not going to help us here at all. That's for something totally different. Okay, but what about my dog has fleas? That one also isn't going to help us. So I think we need to come up with our own acronym or our own mnemonic device to remember the names of the strings. So how about so G, C, E, A, grandma. Okay, it's a good start. Grandma can't eat apples. GCEA, grandma can't eat apples. It's sad, but true. All right, we've got it. So that means this first one here is a G, and we have to tune it. But how do we do it? Oh, my shirt changed color. We could use the traditional method of tuning, which is tuning by ear. That's where we have a different instrument play a note, and then we play a string on the ukulele, and we match it up just by listening. That's a great skill to have, but we are not going to worry about that. We are going to use an electronic tuner. So this is a clip-on tuner. It's the Snark SN5X to be exact. Very nice tuner. I highly recommend it. There are tons of electronic tuners. They all work, and they all work pretty much the same way. But if you don't already have one, I recommend the Snark SN5X. So it clips on like that. Doesn't really matter where it goes as long as it's firmly on the ukulele. And once it's on, you're good. You don't have to move it around when you tune all the different strings. So you might be thinking, okay, clip-on tuner, nice, I like it, looks good. I might get one. It's nice. But I don't have one, and my ukulele's out of tune. So I don't have one of these right now, but I want to tune my ukulele right now. So what do I do if I don't have a Snark SN and I want to tune my ukulele? So calm down. You can use a tuner app. There are tons of tuner apps. If you search the App Store for ukulele tuner, you are going to find tons of options. I recommend the Kala app, K-A-L-A. It's free, it's really clear. However, the apps can be a little bit tricky to use. Sometimes, if the room you're in is too noisy or your ukulele is too quiet or way too out of tune, the app can get kind of confused and it can tell you weird information and it can make things worse. So they definitely get the job done, but I highly recommend you get a clip-on tuner. I deplore you to get a clip-on tuner. I don't think that's what that word means. All right, we are finally ready to actually start tuning. So we want to turn on the tuner. There we go. It's going to be a little hard to see, but bear with me. So first thing, we need to tune this top string. What was this one called? Grandma can't eat apples. Grandma, G. This is the G. So we're going to play that note, and we're going to see what the tuner says. It says G. We did it. We're done. We tuned. Not quite. What is going on? The tuner is telling us that we're close to the right note, but we actually need to look at this meter up above the letter. So it's going to go to the left or the right, but we need to tune the string so that that meter goes right into the middle, and that means the string is actually in tune. So watch this. See how we got some red, but it doesn't quite go up to the middle. So because the meter's way over to the left, that means the note is flat, and it means we have to tighten the string. All right, so let's follow the string up. It leads us to here. So this is the one we're going to use. We're going to grab that. We have to tighten it. So to tighten a string, you turn counterclockwise. But if you're like me or any other human being I've ever met, clockwise and counterclockwise it can get confusing if you're like reaching from a different direction, or you're distracted, or if you've never seen a clock before. So what I recommend is just start turning it and see if it gets better or worse. So here's our G. I'm just going to start turning it. And let's see what it says. Uh-oh. Now it says a totally different note. It says F something or other. So I think that means I went the wrong way. So I'm going to go the opposite direction. Oh, it says G again. Okay, this is good. I'm going to tighten it up a little more. I'm just doing little turns because we're pretty close. If I get close enough, look what happens. Yes, that middle one lit up. The G is in tune. We can move on to the next one, which is clearly Grandma can't C. C. Okay, so we're moving on to C. Let's see what the tuner says. All right. I've got good news and bad news. Good news, the tuner says C, so that means we're close. Bad news, that meter is way over to the right now. We've got yellow stuff over there. That means the note is sharp, and we need to loosen it. So again, I'm just going to start turning. We'll see if it gets better or worse. Oh, it's getting better. Look at how much closer I am. If I just go a little more. We did it. The C is in tune. Time for the next string. Grandma can't eat. So this is E. Let's do it. Play the E string. Whoa! It says a C of some kind. That's super far off. So that means that this note is so far out of tune, the tuner thinks we're playing a totally different note. Okay. It says C sharp. We want to go from C up to D, and then from D up to E. So we're just going through the alphabet until we get to the letter we want. So I'm going to start. I'm grabbing this one here. I'm just going to follow the string. It leads us right over here. Bam. Let's start tuning that one up. Oh, look at that. Look at that. There's the D. Okay, we're in the right direction. We went from the C to the D, and the D is getting sharper and sharper. It goes to a D sharp. You might know what that is. You might not. That's okay. We're going to keep going. Keep going. Up, E. Okay, we made it to E. This is exciting. This is exciting. See how it said F for a second? Sometimes if you're like talking or you're doing other stuff, the tuner gets confused. It thinks other stuff is going on. Whatever note it tells you right when you play the string, that's what you want to pay attention to. So it says E. I'm going to tighten up some more. Tighten up some more. We're almost there. There. We made it right to the... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I went a little too far. That's okay. I'm just going to back off a little bit. Right in the middle. There we go. So we still have another string, but what about if you're using the app? If you're using that Kala app I told you about, or a different tuning app? Or what if you have a different clip-on tuner? What if it's not the Snark SN5X? What if it's the tuner? So all electronic tuners work pretty much the same way. They all tell you the letter name for the note, and then they have a meter. Now that meter might go from left to right, it might go up and down, but the goal is always to get it lined up in the middle. Some of the apps might have little twists with them, but they all use that basic idea. Our last string, Grandma can't eat apples, A. Here we go. Okay, guys. This is... It says A, but listen. This string sounds really low, and it's like it feels really loose. Like it feels like the string is just gonna fall off the ukulele. When you get a new ukulele, what happens all the time is some of the strings are really loose. They're so loose that if you play them, the tuner thinks you're playing an octave lower than the note you want. So that means it's a different A that's completely lower than every other note. So check it out. We're gonna have to tune this one up super far. We've got made it to B, then C, then D. What are we going to? Grandma can't eat apples. A, okay. We're up to F. Oh, it's getting higher than G. Here. We're at A. Up a little more. We did. Oh, we did it. We made it. We made it up to A. We're done. We're not done. We're not done. After you've tuned each string of the ukulele, you kind of need to go through and tune them all again. And then maybe a third time. And then maybe 8 more times. What happens is as you're tightening them up, the strings stretch out and then they relax and loosen back up. And you have to tighten it back up. They stretch and then relax and loosen. And you have to go through that several times until they've finally stretched out enough. With new ukulele strings like these, they stretch out so far that sometimes as you're tightening up the string, you can actually feel it get looser and stretched out, and you can hear the note get lower. The tuner will you'll be tightening up, and then you see it get lower, and then it tightens up, and then gets lower. But if you just keep going, eventually it will stay in tune. Once each string is staying in tune, you can finally play the ukulele. And then about 2 minutes later, you're gonna realize it's out of tune and you have to go through all the strings again. Guys, it's not my fault. It's just the way ukulele strings are made. So tuning the ukulele might not be quite as quick and might not be quite as easy as you hoped, but it's a skill and it takes practice and it takes patience. So it's one of the most important skills you will have as a ukulele player. So good luck, and I will see you when you're tuned up and ready to play. Make sure to turn your tuner off. The batteries last for a long time, but if you leave it on overnight, that's pretty much it.